Slurply diddly do, my G's. Thanks for all the wonderful comments on my last release. Dust? Anyone? Dust? Yeah, so someone else left a comment on a recent knowledge sharing video that I do. That's right, we have knowledge share, music, all kinds of things on this channel. Yeah, but basically someone said, how do I blend my sub bass with my mid bass? And they mentioned, shall I just do a really steep cut and the EQ in the mid bass to kill the low end? And that is a big, big red flag. So don't ever do that. And the reason why is because I've stressed this in many other videos is that, yeah, the stronger like EQ cuts that you do and the sharper things you do with your EQ, the more you will lose the sound quality and destroy the sound. So you always want to EQ as smoothly as possible. And so how would I blend my sub bass with my mid bass if I wanted to, you know, create a new sub to fit into my mid bass if it wasn't powerful enough, for example? How would I do that? It's actually quite simple, and I'm going to explain the process and the kind of mindset behind it. And yeah, it's quite straightforward. Basically, let's say we've got a bass here. It's just a phase plant bass, and it's got a sub in it, right? But the sub's like a little bit weak, and let's just say, for example, I wanted to recreate the low end and just like get a new sub bass in underneath it. Okay, so I can make the track even more powerful. So how would I do that? Obviously, firstly, get another sine wave. So I've just opened another phase plant and just done a pure sine wave. Set the level like nice and high in the right area, like looking at span, making sure I'm getting in that 30 to 36 range. So it's a good, it's like in the right area for its volume. And then all I'm going to do is start to blend it with the mid bass. And I don't need to do any EQing on the actual sub because it hasn't really got anything in the high end to take out, you know. So all I'm going to do is start low cutting away the frequencies from the mid bass. So we want to get, we want to like, if I just switch this to normal EQ, we want to sort of take away this low sub fundamental part, but we want to leave this kind of character in from the low mid range, you know. And you can see the fundamental of this bass is around 100 hertz or 107 hertz, and we want that in because that's really the whole character of the sound. And so there's not really a specific rule of, oh, you need to low cut here and high cut here. Like, it's all depending on each sound. And the key thing that people stumble and fail at, and this is where I'm here to save you, the thing that people obsess about, like the EQ cut or the where the frequency cut should be, and they obsess over, you know, how sharp it should be, and this kind of stuff. You don't need to worry about that. What you only need to focus on one thing, which is hearing the weight of the sub bass and letting the weight of the sub bass come through. You know, that's all you need to focus on. And then when you focus on that, you also have to remember that you need to EQ as smoothly as you possibly can as well. So always doing smooth cuts. Better to do more smooth cuts than one sharp one, you know, stacking the EQs on top of each other. And thirdly, you want to also realize that there is a grace period. Like there is, you can have a little bit of overlap, so you don't have to like get it 100% off and 100% on. You know, it's not that serious. You know, you can definitely have a little bit of an overlap, you know, and that's actually how you'll gel it together, because there will be a little bit of an overlap. You know, if there wasn't, it would be very difficult to get a full sounding low end if you'd completely steep cut one of the sounds. It just wouldn't really work so well. So here is how I do it, and it's just always smoothly and in stages, taking out the low end. So all I'm going to do is, I would actually do this listening to both sounds together, but essentially I've pretty much just put a low cut on, and if I go up too high, you know, even up to 80, for example, here, I'm sort of gonna, you know, it actually goes a bit further and it'll start to take out that actual fundamental, you know. So I want to make sure that my EQ is always like low enough that it doesn't affect the main characteristic fundamental part of the mid bass, wherever that's sitting on your particular bass, you know? So I never want to go up too high, and I never want to go too steep, because then like I'll start to stress the EQ and lose the sound quality. So 18 dB is like great for me. Remember as well that we're dealing with the low end, and the low end is the most sensitive area and the most important area to get right. So you really want to take your time with it. And remember, you've got a sub bass in there, and the whole key is to get that sub bass to be the dominant one. And like I said, you can have a little bit of a blending overlap, but you want to, again, like I said on the kick bass relationship video recently, you want to aim for like 90% of the sub bass to be cutting through, like, yeah, really, really cleanly. So we want to take a lot of those frequencies out. Just bear in mind, it doesn't have to be perfect, but 90% is a great rule, because what's the point in having the sub bass in there if it's not going to have the dominant, you know, priority, because it's the lowest frequency in the spectrum. So therefore, you know, it has to have the most power. It has to have the most, importance placed on it. So you really want to make sure we're going to get out enough of this content, you know, so that there's not too much of an overlap anymore. So we're just going to simply add our first EQ on here. And then if I'm going to close that now, and then I open up a second one. And, you know, I've still got loads of sub bass in there, you know, because I need to do it multiple times. So do another one here. And we can always find a new sweet spot every time. It doesn't have to be always on the exact same number, but you never want to go up too high and you never want to go too sharp. So once we've done that, then we're going to do another one. We can check again here how much we've got left. You know, starting to shape it off quite nicely now. Always imagine like I'm, what's the word when you're like sculpting a car bonnet? I'm not a mechanic, but when you're like shaping like a nice Porsche bonnet, and it's got to like be perfect, and you do it like really smoothly, sanding it down, whatever, you know what I mean. So another soft one here. Then we can have a look again, see where we're at, and here we're starting to we've taken out a good 60 or 70% of it now. We'll do another one here. Here I'm doing a little 12 dB, even kind of smoother, and then I'm going to finish off with a really, really smooth one. 6 dB, so really, really smooth slope. Just do a little bit more there, and now you can hear. All you got to do is you've got to check with your ears. Again, we're using our ears in music. We're not relying on the numbers. Hearing that sub bass power, adding the mid bass back in, and how much of that sub bass power can we hear? I actually feel like I can probably go a little bit more. I feel like I can still get a bit more clarity from the sub bass coming through. So let me put one more on. Now I'm obviously mixing in headphones, but I can have a pretty good idea of the sub bass in these Audacity headphones. Like they're absolutely fine for doing this kind of stuff for me. But yeah, that's like another little cut there. And now if you just take a look at what we've done with all of those low cuts, just looking at the mid bass. You know, we've kept that fundamental part in, the important part. It's really, really powerful still. It doesn't look like we've changed the shape or messed with it. And we've cut out everything so, smoothly, one piece at a time, that the whole sound quality is still kind of remaining as it was, you know? And we've got rid of all of that rumble in the sub bass. We've got rid of the whole sub bass, you know? And like really, really nice and smoothly. So that's the best way to do it if you want the most professional sound. And adding that back in, you know, I've actually sort of cleared out so much space in my mix. I could probably go ahead and boost my sub bit like I'm doing here. Yeah, boost that up again, and now I've got like more room for the sub bass, which is the sine wave, which is the most powerful sound, the most important sound in the low end. I've made loads of space for it, so I can push that higher. I'm going to have a much more powerful mix down after that. And putting the drums back in, I've done a quick little volume side chain on both of the sounds to the kick, so you get a bit of space for the kick drum. Okay, and then you can always tweak it a bit more. You can do a little bit more low cutting. You can tweak your side chains, but at this point, we've really gone from like a kind of 50% powerful mixdown up to like 90% power. You know, we've come in heaps and bounds. We've done a big increase in the sound quality, and because we're giving priority to that powerful sine wave in the low end, we're making sure that it's really going to be the daddy of everything. And when we're cutting our other sounds out of the way, we're doing it in a very smooth and controlled way, not stressing the EQ. And yeah, but we're making sure we do take out enough, even if it takes time, you know. And yeah, and we're not sort of we're allowing there to be a little overlap. And we're also, trying to get this kind of nice combination and find a sweet spot, completely using our ears and feeling the weight of the bass and not relying on the numbers or the luffs or the lemmings or whatever other nonsense you guys always talk about. Anyway, that's the best way to do it, in my opinion. So, hope that helps you guys. Very, very appreciative for everyone who watches my videos. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And also, for those of you who don't know, I do music production coaching one-on-one. I teach from Monday through Saturday every week. You can book in lessons anytime that you like on my website directly. You can send me an email if you want any more information, but it's my full-time job, so you can just if there's a free space in the calendar, absolutely more than welcome to book a session with me. There's only so much I can teach in one video, and people then always have follow-up questions, and it can become very difficult to try and teach people through YouTube videos. So one-on-one sessions will just like take you so much like higher in your understanding, like so much quicker. And so always welcome for that. And in between lessons, I also have a Discord community as well, which you can access via Patreon. You have to join the Fire Team tier or higher. And in that community, it's a great place for, getting feedback on your tracks and having discussions in between lessons and things like that, you know? So, in between YouTube videos and in between lessons, come and join the Discord and join our lovely community of people and they'll help you level up your sound, like in between my lessons and my videos and things like that. Thank you very much for watching, my G's, and I'll see you guys very soon. Take care. Much love.